Okay. So it's 15% every year, right? Our operating profit margin is 15% every year. Right? So because of that, now we can go and get our operating profit.
What's that?
William is not back. Halima too is not back. Oh, is Halima back? Okay. So are we there? So since our average operating profit is 15%, we can come here and calculate our operating profit. So operating profit at 15%. So our operating profit at 15%, and we can do 15% for every year. So we can say is this by everybody? Thelma.
Yes.
Okay, what's the next thing to do now? We can check that now.
Yeah.
We have our profit. Okay, the total is working capital, so that we have tax. Oh God. Okay, it's not too far.
Sorry.
Okay, so we do our tax on actually. So
and is that done with this that you just have to do the fifth year, the terminal year?
Yes, it's done before we get terminal year.
Okay. When they have told us would have come with stats class.
With flat.
My close student is not for the professor, it's for the students.
But you don't tell them to boy now. Everybody will just say. So I'll just say them. Let me just say this. Okay, so an interest is not we can't have interest in a value calculation. So we have our operating profit. We can't have that immediately. So we don't have any assumption that is paid now or in the current year. So we'll just simplify our work. Go on to this now. 25%. No, I don't. You know it. We are using a computer. I'm writing our tax. Is there any way? Does anybody can fix my screen? It's really. Okay. So now we done our tax. So we have our post operating cash flows. Now, what are that is? So we have additional investment. So what did they tell us about additional investment?
$0.30 per $1 increase in social revenue for next 4 years.
The company will run.
Okay, so let me just so you also do that on the screen. We'll do every year. So next year, my yeah, exactly. Every $1 will have 10 cents. So that's 10% of dollar.
Like $1, you 30 cents. Therefore, 30 cents now do what? We now do cross multiply.
Sorry, how did you get the first one? 8.0.
So the one in the book, you have.
Okay.
So the one, the 5 year book is the current year. So from the current year's one. Now, did you get that?
Yes, last one is
The one in the book, 389.1. 2019 in the book. The 2013 in the book will be. Sorry.
Okay.
Do you get that now? Everybody there? Yeah?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Just let me. So all of you are write it down. So free cash flows. So that's must tax minus additional investment. So the three of them. Cash technology.
No. Fine.
Yes.
What's terminal value?
What's terminal value? Terminal value is they said that after the 4 years period that
What line? Where are you?
yeah, they said after the 4 year period that the free cash flows will grow at. Please, do you see that place?
3.5.
At 3.5 for the foreseeable future, Abi.
Yeah.
Everything is simple, like written is a computer exam before.
I'm to you, I was very weak, very weak using Excel for calculation. I usually say that every time I get work, all my work I do it on paper, and then I start using Microsoft Word. I'm telling you that just last night because of doing one or two of these things in F9, and it has really strengthened me. I know that if you practice this one with P4 for a few days, it will be so things are good for us, and there are things that don't be too worried about. As what's that most people really forget. So just practicing it. If you don't be afraid of your writing set, try to use this because it reduces your work significantly.
That's easy.
Is one not using computer as a table? Is everybody ignoring me? Everyone using computer as a table.
I need to share this now.
Who is it though?
Brian, you're eating nothing.
Me care.
I saw your hand with your mouth.
It's not allowed. To use one ability equal to for 758 into original space 3%. From the 4 to the 3, all the same time that would be 1 to 4. And that will now be divided by
See.
90, so 0.190. This 662.79. So we're from 4 to infinity. Now let me tell you a useful thing about this. From year 5 to infinity, what is the 0 of year 5? What is the 0 of year 5? Year 4. So present value. Please, did you get what I said? The way the examiner, especially the way big does it, really hurts me. It makes it look very hard. Instead of doing as a separate condition and adding at the end, you can just put it here and discount it like you're doing other things and you don't have any stress. So we calculate our value from year 5 to year. If I look at present value, my present value is my value of a project. Year 5 to it is year 4. So I expect the if I follow. That is 0. So because I value from 4 and not 8 to 0. Minus the distance minus that's why when we are doing valuation model, same thing. Different valuation model as you that the cash will continue. So the same different valuation models, T not 8 1 plus G over K minus G. That's the same thing. So that's the same value. That's the same way we are doing it. So we just take it. Since it's from the 50, it means that the of the 5 is 4. So if we put that the 5, that figure the 5 infinity, that terminal value.
Are we supposed to take it to year 4?
Yes.
I think the
now this, I'm sorry, so there's one that valuation is supposed to be. It's not this. You are something.
I'm saying this value is supposed to be multiplied by the discount of year 4 before you can read.
So I'll discount using the year 4.
Okay.
It will still work.
Okay. Okay. Okay, you're right.
Okay, so we can now discuss discount factor at, should we simplify it and use 11% or, but it doesn't simplify anything when I'm using this way. So discount factor at 10.93.
11% now, so that those are first.
Okay, so because of you that is using calculator, if not for me, I don't have any problem. Okay, so that will just be, so we can do this very easily with to be able to drag the discount rates to all the years. So it will be equal to 1.11 raised to the power minus, and instead of using the 1 directly, I can just pick that year figure so that I can drag it for all the years and it will just work. That you find that they would use that for you. So therefore, So my figure of 568.23. Okay, so that's the value. So I can put that in million. So that's the value of Mlima Co. So that's when we have not considered the Barry project. So that is without the Barry project now. So the next thing now is to do the valuation. So appendix 3 now. So our appendix 3 will be value of Mlima Co with the Barry project now.
No, we
Want to close it?
yes.
I don't see right.
No, I want to go home.
Both.
Every time you have a growth, every time you have growth, every single time you have growth.
Yes, sir.
So if you will,
We are giving an example of 50 year one.
yes, I did
two.
that, but let me just give you an idea of it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so now if you have growth of, say, man, can I do this in 3 minutes? Okay, so let's try and rush this. So if you have newest minus oldest, okay, that's the new one minus the old one divided by the old one. That's the way we normally do it now, Abi.
Okay.
So divided by the old one. Now what I've said is that because the denominator is the same for both of them, we can say it is newest over oldest. Sorry, because I'm trying to rush on. So newest over oldest minus oldest over oldest. Do you get that? And oldest can cancel oldest, so that this will give you newest over oldest minus 1.
Oh.
So now what we do is that if we have more than 2 years, now this thing is technically the same thing as saying into bracket 1 over n. That's where that formula comes from. So if the n is 2, then it will be n minus 1, if you will. So that if we are doing just between 2 years, then it will be 1 minus 1, which is 1 over 1, which can disappear. So we'll just have that newest over oldest minus 1. So if we have more years, so if we have 3 years, for example, 3 years that we are considering, then it will be 3 minus 1, which will be 2. So it will be 1 over 2, which is half n over newest over oldest, 1 over 2. If we have 10 years we are considering, then it will be 1 over 9.
1 over 1.
Exactly, it will be n over 0 as newest over oldest. Now, please remember, let me show you something very briefly before this thing logs us out.
Okay.
Now, please, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, if we have 4 years now that we are considering, then our growth is really 1, 2, and 3. That's the number of years of growth. So if we have 4 years, then it will be 3, because there are 3 growths for 4 years. If we have 5 years that we are considering, then it will be 4 years growth. So if they tell you, do you get what I'm saying, sir?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So basically, that is why we use newest over oldest, 1 over n minus 1 to calculate our
Okay.
growth.
Okay.